I'm Candy, Director of the Benedict Memorial Library, and this is another one of our crafting videos. Seeing how spring is literally around the corner, we decided we would work on showing you how to be able to build a garden. These are small gardens for kids, but adults can be able to start seeds also this way. And what we're doing is we're upcycling different kind of containers for them, like milk or juice cartons, tin cans, egg cartons, just things that normally you would recycle, or you can upcycle them into being flower gardens. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to be able to build a simple and easy flower garden. We're going to work with the milk carton, and what you can do is you can take your carton, and it can be a milk carton, cans, egg cartons. You're going to want to first make sure it's clean. The egg cartons you're not going to be able to clean because they're made out of cardboard, so they'll just disintegrate if you try and wash them. As long as the eggs aren't still in there, you should be okay. If you're using a styrofoam one, you will not be able to replant the whole pod. Use the cardboard ones so that way after they start growing, you can literally just plant the whole thing right into the ground, and this will biodegrade for you. So you take your carton and you can be able to decorate it, and you can do all sorts of things. You can paint them with temper paint, water-based paint. You can use markers on it. You can glue paper around it, put stickers on it. And one thing that we did with the cans is, and I love this one was done by Rose, and she took a pineapple can, and it was the right size to be able to put one strip of duct tape around it. She has a whole bunch of different kinds of duct tape that has different kinds of patterns and that on it. This was a can with a pop top on it, so she put duct tape all the way around it, and she put the duct tape on the inside so that way you didn't get cut on the edges here. Another thing that she did was she used Mod Podge. She painted the can with Mod Podge and took twine and wrapped it around, or you could use yarn, and she just wrapped it around and let it dry that way, and then it makes a nice natural looking rattan. Or you can use, as I said, different kinds of variegated yarns would look great on this, or things like that. And you can always use cardboard paper and wrap it with paper, colored paper, stickers, markers, all of those things. Right now I don't have the time to be able to do that and be able to get this video fully done, so we're going to move on to how you cut the carton up and make it into a flower garden. So the thing that you do with this is you gotta, as I said, wash it. You can take the cap off, put some water in, some soap, put the cap back on, have some fun shaking it about, and then you will dump it and then rinse it several times, not once. Rinse it several times to make sure you get all the soap out of it, because you don't want any soap in your container. That'll hurt the plants. After that, you let it all dry. Once it's dry, you put your cap back on. Now what you're going to do next is you're going to cut on the carton to make an opening to be able to put the soil in and be able to make your plants. And you can do it several different ways. You can do it this way, you cut it, and then be able to take your top off and be able to water through there if you want. But I thought I like doing it this way. I'm putting it onto the side so that it's on the side. And what I did was, in order to know where I was going to cut it, I took a Sharpie and I put a line to follow for cutting it. Now, little kids, you should let your parents do the cutting for you. You can help by holding it steady for them so they can do the cutting, but always let your parents, or do it with your parents, Don't you just go ahead and start cutting because you can hurt yourself. I have done it many times, not an adult. So what you can use is you can use a box cutter, a pair of scissors, and just take the scissors and poke a hole and then cut it out. I'm going to use the box cutter because it's easier for me. All I do is put a hole in, do my line, if I can get it back in there, line, now I'm not cutting exactly on the edge, I'm cutting close to the edge, so that way I've got a little bit of a frame around my soil to keep it all inside. Once you get it cut, oh, it didn't cut all the way through. Now I got it. Now we got it off. Now we have our hole to put our soil in. Now you can get soil. We will have a couple of take-home bags which will have soil and seeds, and you can pick a planter to upcycle, or you can get your own and upcycle it at home and then come and get it for the next week or so while supplies last. Okay, but once they're gone, they're gone. So you're going to take the potting soil, and you're going to you don't want to just dump it out because you get it everywhere. You can use a spoon, you can use I'm using a paper cup here, or something like that. And you just scoop it out and put it in. All right. So now I filled it with some potting soil. Oops, don't want to lose my cup. And I've got it filled up pretty much. I'm going to flatten it down a little bit. Now, you think that's nice and full the way it is right now? What you're going to do is you're going to add a little water. You want enough to moisten, not to soak, okay? So I got my jug of water here. I'm going to just put a little bit of water in here. One thing I forgot to do before I did this is I've got to put some holes in the bottom. See, the cans have holes in them already. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to not put holes in right now. I'm going to plant my seeds, and then later I'll put some holes into it. So that way it can be able to drain, because you want to be able to have the water to be able to drain out so they don't get overwatered, which will kill your plant. A little bit more water, not much. Just put a little more in. When you put the water in, it's going to shrink down because there's a lot of air in the soil, and the water is going to make it compact down. You can see right there how compact it's already becoming. So once you got it a little bit damp, not soaked, remember, we just want damp, we're going to plant our seeds. You can go to the store and pick up seeds. We will have some available for you to be able to get. A package of seeds usually costs anywhere from $1.50 to $2, and you get a lot of seeds in one packet. I've got one packet right here that I have already opened. I'm using pansies, and you can use other kinds of flowers. Marigolds are very great to use. And those seeds are a lot bigger than these seeds are. These seeds are small. Of course, them into this cup. Put that side so you can see how small these are. I'll put a couple down. Right there, so you can get to see how tiny these little seeds are. I'll take my glove off because I just don't want my hands in the dirt, but that shows you how small these seeds are. So they are really tiny little seeds, and they can get lost very quickly. So you're going to want to put them into a cup when you're planting like I did, or onto a plate, and then you can take them and you put them into the soil. Now, they are brown, just like the soil's brown, so sometimes they're a little hard to see them being placed in here. But you put them in, and you just press them down, or you can take your finger and make a little hole and put them into the hole. Now I'm just going to pour the rest of them right on into there. So we've got a couple more. Put a couple more in there. And then what we'll do, press them down. I'm going to place it on the plate. If you got the holes in the bottom and it's going to drain, you're going to want to put it onto a plate. So that way it'll drain, the water will drain onto the plate and not onto your parents' furniture. Remember, we don't want any parents getting upset because the furniture got ruined. We want to make sure we cover and make sure nothing happens to them. And then all you got to do is put this into a sunny windowsill and be able to water it a little bit every day, not a lot. You know, I just want to keep the soil moist, and then you're going to see little sprouts come up. When those sprouts get to be a couple of inches tall, if they're too close together, you can pull a couple of them out. It's called thinning. And you can plant them into another planter that you have already pre-prepared. And you let them grow, and when they get big enough and outside spring gets farther enough along where it's warmer outside and we are no more having frost, you can even plant these outside if you want. You'll have to take them out of the containers unless you're using the egg carton, which you can be able to cut little pods and put some soil into the pods and grow them that way, and you can be able to plant the whole egg carton. Or if you're using a tin can, or like I did here, you can put this whole thing out and let it sit outside, or you can be able to take the plants out of here and transplant them into the ground. Okay, so I am going to be placing this in one of the windowsills in the children's room so that you guys can come on in and take a look at it and see what's growing and how and what colors they bloom in. I'm hoping that you will be wanting to come on in, get a take home, and be able to plant your own plants. And if you really are into doing this and you want to learn more about doing it, guess what the library is great for? We have books on gardening. This one here is Gardening Wizardry for Kids, and it's got simple, nice big words, big lettering, easy to read, and you can do a whole bunch of different kinds of gardens. You can do specialized gardens, you can be creative, you can explore different legends about gardening, or you can take out the book Gardening with Emma, which she shows you how to do gardening. She shows a whole bunch of different types of plants and how plants grow, and she also shows you all about insects and what worms do for the ground and such. She even shows you how to be able to build a insect catcher in here. This is an excellent book. I highly recommend it. It's really great to read. For the adults, we have several books here on gardening. We've got the Gardening Primer, which is an excellent book. It's the Bible of gardening. We got perennial combinations if you're trying to figure out what to be able to plant together and make look good. We have books on vegetable gardening, flower gardening, fruit and vegetables, organic vegetables, how to prune, which is one I'm going to need to take home myself so that I can know how to prune my hedges. And also, after, if you do a vegetable garden, we also have how to be able to dry everything and be able to prepare it so that you can be able to store it for a while. So, I hope to see you guys come on up. We'd love to have people come on in. Remember, we are still in COVID, so wear your mask, social distance, and pick up your little sticks to make sure that there aren't too many people in the library at the same time. And we'll have those take-home packets ready for kids to be able to have. If you have any questions about gardening, we'd love you to come in and take a look at our books. And you can always ask Rose. She knows the most about gardening. And Lord knows I've been leaning on her for all my information on gardening. So, have a good time and enjoy yourselves.